Hey everybody, it's Ryan Hodge, broker owner at the Realty firm, and we are doing another episode of our No Secret Agents podcast. Today, I am truly honored to welcome an amazing team in Oxford County, and our purpose, our mission is always to serve and support the local real estate community, the industry at large, and our clients, customers, and all of the people that we get to connect with. Today, I'm truly honored to welcome your Oxford connection with Mario, Jennifer, and Marianne. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Ryan.
Maybe you can take us through your individual journey, who you are, how long you've been in the business, and a little bit about yourself. Mario.
I got into real estate in May of 2008. I come from the engineering world and automotive, and I've done my engineering career for about 17 years here in Woodstock. And then with the downsizing happening at the company I was at DeFasco, I started real estate the next day, and just in time for the Great Recession.
There you go. Perfect. What about you, Jen?
So I'm Jennifer Webb, and I started real estate actually in June 2nd, 2004.
Okay.
So it's been 21 years, and basically my journey was I was a child and youth worker. I worked with families and children, and it's that whole coaching thing, guiding and supporting.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate ended up being a nice transition from that career into this career. And so that's what I've been doing for 21 years, guiding, supporting, helping.
Love it.
My name's Marianne, and I'm from Otterville, and I started in real estate as an admin, and I worked for 10 years. I had young kids that were in hockey. We were driving everywhere, all over God's green earth, and there just wasn't the time. So I did admin for 10 at a local company, and then I've been selling for 9.
Awesome. I was mentioning on an earlier episode that we're doing some showcase videos in Oxford County, which was the second market that the Realty firm entered. We're in 5 markets currently. Coming from the London market, Oxford County is a much smaller community, right? And I think that community is a word that, we tend to focus on here. You've got a different feel. What does community mean for you, both personally and professionally, Mario?
I've lived here my entire life, and I don't see any things happening in the future where I really want to leave. So it's a place where I can raise my family. I can keep the front door open. Not all the time, mind you, but enough of the time.
Sure.
And my neighbor is going to watch over my kids, and I watch over their kids.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
So community can be about loving where you live, and you live where you love. And I think for me, we grew up in Embro. We left, my husband and I, but we came back.
Right.
And it's because our family's here. And so our church was very important to us. So the church community played a role in it as well. And I think it's that small town vibe, which is important. So people know your kids.
Yeah.
They know me. I know them. It's definitely changing, but I think overall community is just about being a part of something smaller, but it can be bigger.
Marianne?
I agree with Jen in that I grew up on a tobacco farm in Norfolk County. So grew up in the country. My parents, they would have to drive us everywhere. And then we were teenagers when we moved to Otterville, which is where I live right now. And my kids and my husband were both born and raised in Otterville. And I think that Otterville is a true community. I work there, I live there, but I play there as well. So I love to do stuff within Otterville and Norwich Township. And I just find that community is huge in that area.
People tell me that Marianne's a queen of Otterville.
Wow.
Otterville is the town of the future.
The things that I don't know. What I've come to recognize in that every single one of our Oxford County members is just how rooted they are in their community. And that's pretty amazing because I'm London born and raised. I don't foresee myself moving far away from it either. But there's a different feel to a smaller community, and that's why I love these conversations, because it lends to what I think are values in many ways are missing in this day and age of social media and everything else.
Yeah, can I just speak to that?
Sure.
So, one story that resonates with me was our son Warren was walking downtown, and he was in high school at the time, and there was a person driving by, and it was a person who went to our church, and he was with a bunch of friends, and she hooted the horn. She had the window down and she goes, "Hey, Warren." And Warren was like, "Hey, Sue, how you doing?" And like his friends were like, "Who is that?" He goes, "Oh, that's Sue." He goes, "She lives in our community. She goes to our church." And Sue come back to me and she said, "Hey, you know what? I saw Warren on the streets, honked my horn, said hi to him. And he was like waving and like, 'Hey, how you doing, Sue?' And she said, 'You know what? You don't get that.'" And she said, "There's something about that speaks volumes. Young kids who are speaking to older people, acknowledging them."
For sure. Great story. Great story. Your Oxford connection, team name, maybe take me through, how did this come to be? I mean, you all got into the business at, slightly different times. How'd you come together? There's three of you, sometimes people say three is a crowd. Take us inside of your Oxford connection and what that looks like and how it came to be.
Well, I'll kind of start. So I was admin for Century 21, and I worked with a slew of agents, including Mario. And Mario is someone that I always aligned with when I worked with him. I felt that we aligned in a lot of our personality traits and stuff like that, and our morals and our values. Mario and I, when we first talked about becoming partners, we met with our spouses, the four of us, to make sure that this was going to be a partnership that's going to work, but that our partners in life agreed with that as well. Mario and I have been married to our spouses for the exact same amount of time.
Wow.
I have 2 kids. Mario has 3, but 2 of our kids, the 4 of our kids, are the exact same age. So like in that, we kind of have always meshed.
Yeah.
And working in admin, I knew that part of the job, right? But I wasn't so sure about going out with clients, going to houses, learning, And so when I decided to get my license, I wanted to align myself with someone that I knew the job.
Cool.
And then
I showed up.
Then Jennifer shows up. Yeah.
We really didn't have a choice. She says, "I'm joining."
I'm in.
So yeah, it was interesting because I had been approached by somebody else, actually, a partner. A few people had approached me, and it just didn't sit well. And I knew that I had known Marianne just from coming in and dropping off deals at the other brokerage. And Mario, well, I'd seen him on MLS tours and stuff like that. And so I had approached them and I thought, you know what? This is a team that I think really resonates sort of with what I would like, because I had been a part of a team before.
Right.
But it was a complete family team, right? So this was completely different. So it was interesting because I remember when I sat down with these guys, Mario said, basically, this is a marriage. That's it. There's no such thing as divorce. And it's funny because my attitude has always been the same too. Like I've been married for almost 31 years. So you talk about values and you talk about, children and, it's not about religion per se, like faith is important. But the thing is for us, we had the same values, the same goals. We were on the same trajectory, which I thought was great.
Core values, really.
We didn't sign anything.
No. Wow.
Just handshake and look in each other's eyes, and I wouldn't be anywhere else without these girls. So.
I love that. And I give you guys credit because I've had my own teams crash and burn, certainly my own marriage too. But I've also had, the experience of watching what I would say is safely the industry stat, 90% of teams fail. So I give you guys credit for just holding those core values so closely. We look to do that in our organization as a whole as well, which is why I think it's evolving in the way that it is. What sets you apart? Your team, the way that you do business from perhaps another team or an individual agent. What makes your Oxford connection unique?
I think we're all excellent listeners.
I would agree. I'd say attentiveness. We have a mutual respect, and I think that transcends to our clients. And I think for me, I'm going to say we want to empower our clients. And by doing that is by educating them, by listening to them, and by engaging them.
And I think part of how your Oxford connection kind of became the threesome or whatever it is that we want to be. I live in the south end of Oxford. I live in Otterville. Jen lives in the north end in Embro. And Mario's kind of that cream in the middle that we always say, right? So I think the three of us have a lot that we can offer our clients because we are rural, we are city, being Mario.
Yeah.
So we do kind of understand Oxford County as a whole.
That's great. What I would also acknowledge too, and I'm going to safely say that the last 5 years have been really up and down with the market, right? We know that. I always find it interesting that the agents that tend to have the greatest results, no matter how long they've been in the business, 30 years, 35 years, 21 years, tend to engage in training and development at a very high level. And you guys always seem to show up. You come to all of our masterminds and you come to office meetings and you come. And I think that that's where you're showing up in that way, but you're also showing up that way for your clients as well, which I think a lot of agents right now are very reserved. They're not attending things. They're communicating in a way that's just what we were talking about it with Brad Vink and Becky, earlier, just by email, the way that an offer is done now versus when we started, people aren't communicating the way that they used to as well. The industry's changed that way. Yeah. And so I think that showing up is really a big part of things.
Marianne and Jennifer, I kind of get the Coles Notes versions of some of the training stuff. I really try to stay in tune with the market and just kind of get a finger on the pulse of it from the street. I'm constantly talking to people about real estate because it's constantly something that's in conversation, especially in southwestern Ontario where we live. We talk about hockey, the weather, and real estate. Everybody talks about that, even the newcomers. It's something it's an icebreaker. And I think that's important because you really have to listen to that person, and especially in this market, which is difficult and it's really testing. Sometimes you have to be able to put in front of them something that they didn't really anticipate because they want to get there. They just don't know how. So they come to the professionals. And I think our experience speaks for itself.
But also to speak to that, which we've had numerous conversations about, is relationships. This business is about relationships. People seem to think it's about the transaction, it's about the making the money, it's all that stuff, but it's more to it. And I think society doesn't understand what it takes to be a realtor, to be a business person who is completely invested in their client. And you are the counselor. Like, you wear so many hats. You are the professional person who's giving expert advice. You are the marriage counselor sometimes. You are the supporter, right? Because it is the biggest decision that they're ever making. And at the end of it, you're like a friend because you're their confidant. Yeah. And I think you can send an email, and emails are great. Texts are great, but it is about communicating, hearing them, and building that relationship. That is the success of the business.
For sure.
And so I think getting back to the education part, I think that's Jen and I do love everything that you offer, Ryan, because I'm going to speak for myself. I am like a sponge, and I love that kind of information. Take one good thing out of a lot of it and implement that. And I think part of what's happening in the market now, you're helping us with education to move through these muddy waters.
And help our clients.
Right.
I appreciate that. We try. You touched on it, Jen, as far as how close we get to our clients. And I think that a lot of people that look at from the outside perspective, and it's no secret that real estate agents don't often have the greatest reputation. We talked a lot in previous episodes that oftentimes a few bad apples spoil a bunch. We are giving access to our lives, 10, 11 at night, on a weekend, on a weekday. People text you at 6 a.m, wanting to, get information. And that's part of what we do. But now it's compounded with everything that's going on online, social media, AI, that's coming. How do you stay focused and motivated through these changing times? What do you do? Is it like personal development? Is it just, taking a different approach? But what do you do to stay focused and motivated in the time that we're in?
I don't beat myself up. I did that when I got into the business, when it was the recession and stuff, and I had a young family. We just built a brand new house. My wife just accident, her company just closed. So there was a lot of stuff going on, and I'm trying to get traction. You're slipping. It took about 3 years, and I realized I can't create an economy.
Yeah.
I can't force somebody to buy a house. So if I beat myself up over that, I'm not going to last in this business. I try to stay in tune with things. But at the end of the day, it's this. If I happen to do my fishing with social media and it works, that's great. But at the end of the day, it's this that's gonna
face to face, belly to belly. Yeah.
Get me paid. But all the stuff we're talking about, we keep saying the word business and business. It is our business. But everything about residential real estate is 100% personal.
Yes.
From the buyers to the sellers to the realtors, between realtors, it's
Totally
personal.
Yes. Great point.
Especially in a small town, because I'm going to see that person at the grocery store, or the church, or on the soccer pitch.
Yeah.
And it's really personal.
Very, very.
It's funny you say that you don't beat yourself up. I still do that sometimes. And I don't know how to change that. And I don't know if it's just because it's just who I am. But I think as I've grown to do this business, I think that boundaries are my biggest thing, and practice putting those in, because I just see a lot of relationships fail in this business, and I'm not willing to compromise that. So when it comes to family, my husband, they're number one.
Yep.
Right. And so I protect that time.
Yes.
That's very important. So that's what I do. And now I'm starting to do some creative stuff, because our kids are they've left the house. And so life's a little different. So now I'm in touch with some of that that creative side, because I think that's important, finding who I am.
Sure.
Because for so long I was a mother, right?
The roles that we have in all aspects of life, right?
They change.
Yeah, for sure.
And we have to be open to the new chapters that are coming. And I'm excited by it, but yeah.
I have 3 teenage boys, so I'm starting to get very open to the next chapter.
Yeah.
What about you, Marianne?
Mine are in their 20s, and I'm ready for them to go. So if they're watching it, it's time for you. See ya. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time to start looking elsewhere. But boundaries. I'm not so good with boundaries with my children, or apparently my clients either. But Jen is trying to teach me how to do boundaries. But I work with a lot of people. A lot of my clients come from my community. And I've been fortunate to work with a lot of first-time buyers, and they are just like my kids. Like, I treat them just like I would treat my own kids. And I feel that that's how I'm just trying to navigate these waters, is I do with my people what I would do with my own family and my own friends.
Yeah.
That is a key lesson to learn about client care, and a great principle in life. I was at a leadership conference a couple weeks ago, and These are, some of the top team leaders and brokerages in North America. They were talking about the rapid pace of technology, specifically AI, and who's going to continue to win despite that. And they said that those that create a personal brand, so, within the Realty firm, you guys have created your Oxford Connection and certainly your own personal brands inside of it. But the two main points were the people that create deeper connections and bring more value to those people than their competition.
Yeah.
And I think that you guys do that exceptionally well.
We deal with so many clients over the years, different ages. A lot of times where you get, especially young buyers, which are wonderful to work with. You feel almost like a tour guide, so to speak, and just kind of making sure that they don't go off of a cliff or nothing like that. But then some other times your playbook is you're a master problem solver.
Yeah.
Something is going the other direction, and it can get pretty tricky and dicey. But through all of that, not so much in commercial real estate, but in residential real estate, you make the decision with the emotional side of your brain. And when it comes down to it, you crunch the numbers, this and that. It's like, well, how do you feel? And we're really good at tapping into people's feelings, and they feel comfortable. And they trust us. And I think it's because of the type of people we are.
Love that. There's a saying, the mind thinks and the heart buys, right? So those deeper connections are pretty crucial. What is coming up in 2025 and beyond for your Oxford Connection? What's next? Personally, professionally, what do we have on the go?
Well, actually, okay, so we do have some community events that we are excited about doing. And it's funny because, the community events that we used to do were really relevant to what was happening in like our kids' lives. But now I'm finding it's more about what's happening in our life and how does that affect us? So we're starting to explore more about us and bringing that out. So I know that we're really excited about some of the stuff that we're doing, partnering with United Way,
cool.
And doing an event later in the fall.
In September.
Yep. And then just
something that's, because Jen and I are in our 50s. And, we're in that stage of life. And so Jen and myself and some other gals are going to partner up, and we're going to do a You, Me, and Menopause
Cool.
night.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah.
You got any extra seats?
We'll invite.
Deal with that.
We'll invite your wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Invite mine too. Yeah.
So there's just some different things that I think that we're open to exploring, and we're really excited about that.
Nice.
Right. So
again, deeper connections in the community, all things real estate and beyond.
In the course.
Yeah.
stay in the course, and we've done some work with another company working with seniors.
Okay.
And that whole transition, like what is that next chapter for these people? And it's funny because again, what we're seeing is our parents are aging, and I think that it's resonating with us. So like there's two parts to that. We've got older aging parents who are dealing with, okay, what's our next step? But we also have these young kids that are like, hey, wait a minute, I want to get into home buying. So first time buyers are something we're really passionate about because it's all about educating.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny, like where we are in our personal lives.
I think just a bit, we see the starting line for people and we see the finish line.
Yeah.
And I think now, just because the demographics are what they are, we're starting to see more of the finish line. So we're trying to really groom ourselves to be able to deal with this.
How we evolve in life and business, right?
Not kidding.
So true.
Where can people find you guys? We're going to post it all in this episode as far as on channels and things like that. But where's the best place to find you guys in terms of, your real estate business, getting in touch with you? Is it website, social media, all of the above? Let us know.
Yeah, for sure. Your Oxford Connection
Okay.
at gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's our email. But definitely we're on Instagram, right? Your
Yeah.
Oxford Connection, Facebook page, Your Oxford Connection. We're getting a TikTok. That's our next step.
Good luck.
TikTok. And we're on LinkedIn, and we've got our own personal pages, like with Marianne Butler and Jennifer Webb too. So like
Perfect.
we're out there.
Yeah.
Just call us.
And our website, of course.
Mario wants the phone
Just
call.
call.
Yeah. Yeah. Or yeah.
For sure.
Our website too. So we're out there. It's just,
pretty easy to find.
Yes, I know that you guys are all over.
I'm going to be in Long Point on a boat.
Okay, there you go.
she'll be waving.
Cool. It is always a pleasure to connect with you guys, and I know we do consistently anyways, but this is a good classroom on how to have longevity in this business and treat people right, is what I would say, and take your community and your connections deeper. This has been another episode of the No Secret Agents podcast here at the Realty Firm. I'm thanking Marianne, Jennifer, and Mario for their time today, and we look to have more episodes and content for you real soon. Thanks so much.
All right.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Thanks.
Cheers.
That's it.